and we straight politicking on all you fools out there. And we're here to bring you another episode. And I'm sitting here again next to Munchie B, the mayor, out of the city of Champions, out of Inglewood.
That part.
And we got Spider Loc, the most eastiest one.
Jeter.
The most easty.
Hey, tell me this. When do you decide if we politicking on the suckers or the food?
Oh man, they all the same. They all the same. They all the same. And you up out of correct me if I'm wrong. You up out of L.A., kind of Watts, and Compton. You from like all three of the most top areas of our section.
Well, I'm going to just use a term that's familiar to my people, all of them. I'm from all of them.
From all of them.
Yeah.
But you know what? Y'all, all of those places don't got as many as champions as Inglewood does.
No, but I kind of feel like I'm from Inglewood, too.
Oh, is that right?
I'm from all this shit, man. Yeah.
Okay. I only claim the mid-city, West Adams area of Los Angeles.
Well, I don't feel that connected to that area.
Oh, the Inglewood area.
Yeah, no. The Midwest, the part that's far west.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
From Inglewood back to like North Long Beach feels like home.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I spent a few years in my late teens, early 20s in Inglewood, but I never really felt it as home because I was always just in and out.
Right.
I mean, I used to pay a bill there every month too.
So all my life I had like at least an uncle and an auntie had a house in Inglewood, so we was over there for at least. My auntie Betty and Crawford, they used to stay in Inglewood by that. Remember that bowling alley with them two big statues in front?
Shoot, Munchie should know.
You might have been too young for that bowling alley.
Yeah, you said bowling alley. That's what I was
two big statues. Used to be two big statues in front of the entrance on each side of the entrance of the bowling alley.
What street would that have been? Manchester?
I can't recall, but I remember.
Well, I'm gonna tell you one of the reasons why we always used to go to Inglewood in the '80s is because they had a place called the House of Chrome, where everybody bought their wheels, their rims. It was on Manchester. I would say about 3-4 blocks east of Crenshaw.
So we keep going with generational memories because I wasn't driving in the 80s, so that shows your age a little bit over mine, like mine over his.
I had a car. I've been driving since I was 13, so before I even had a license. I got my license when I was 16, and then I put rims on my car. I think I was 17 when I got my first set of rims. And then we used to go up to the House of Chrome. We used to need the Dayton hammer. Dayton's ain't as big as they used to be, but everybody wanted Dayton's in the 80s, and it came with a hammer. The hammer was the knockoff. And after a while, the hammer would wear down, and you get a new hammer. Where do you get a new hammer? You go to the House of Chrome in Inglewood and buy you a new hammer. But don't keep that hammer in the front seat because the police want to be funny with you. Guess what? They charging you with having a weapon in the car. If you have that Dayton hammer in the front seat or on the ground, on the floorboard.
Wow. How could they do that the way people drive around with tools? That's crazy.
Hey, anything that they deem as a weapon, they can make their thing. But yeah, when I was a kid, Inglewood had 5 titles, and now it's got 6 because the NFL. What NFL team won the Super Bowl in 2020? Was it the Rams or the Chargers?
No, Chargers haven't won one in a while.
So the Rams got one in 2020 while they were in Inglewood.
You said the Chargers.
Yeah, is that Inglewood Chargers now?
No, they LA Chargers.
But I mean, they're playing Inglewood.
Yeah.
Yeah, but
even the Rams not Inglewood.
when was the last time they won a Super Bowl? You said Chargers. That's what I was laughing
Yeah,
at.
it's been like.
Well, that just lets you know I don't keep up too much with the NFL. I'm not a real NFL guy.
Yeah, but they don't consider the Rams Inglewood, bro.
No, but when the Rams won in 2020, they were playing out of Inglewood.
They were. Yeah. But
Just like when the Lakers won with Magic and Kareem, they were playing out of Inglewood.
But nobody considers that like an Inglewood win.
Well, the city of Inglewood does.
I mean, they win.
You see that big ass sign when you enter Inglewood? What does it say?
Oh, the City of Champions?
Welcome to the City of Champions. Yeah.
So that's affiliated with sports?
Yeah. That's the 5 titles that Magic and Kareem brought.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, on Prairie, they say the Avenue of Champions. Like, you know what I'm saying?
Okay.
All right. Let me just adjust this mic real quick. There we go. All right. So, hey, we got a lot of response regarding the the defacement of the Kendrick Lamar mural by the Tortilla Flats members. A lot of people on the Latino side just want to chalk it up to, that's just gang banging. And even a lot of people are saying that the NK and the NIGGER killer is a thing of the past when it comes to Latino gangs. And there are even others that say blacks are just as racist as the Mexicans are because they write wetback killer or Mexican killer. So we've been getting a lot of feedback that's kind of saying that we're trying to stir the pot and create the drama. I'm just trying to have a dialogue about it. That's all I'm trying to do. I'm all for black-brown relations in Los Angeles. I believe it is a thing that can happen despite what others think, but this doesn't help it at all.
I don't realize anything we said that could be considered inflammatory. Somebody had to make me realize what phrase that was actually utilized that was,
Well, when I put the video up for last week, when we had the Dubs clip and the American Cholo clip, I threw in 3 pictures of Compton Vadio writing killer on the wall that were from either 2000 or 2001. People knew that that was from that period, and they said, oh, that's from the past. That's not what it is now.
I've seen, in 2024, I've seen NK next to PKCK all in one thing on the walls in Compton in this year. Fresh paint.
And I went through my archive. I have a 2014 photo of NK by Tortilla Flats that I didn't post. It may have been more prevalent.
I'm not saying what I saw was by the Flats in particular. I've just seen that expression on the walls.
Well, for Compton, it's going to be either the CV70s or the Tortilla Flats. They the big NK writers, that, from my experience.
I want to hear T-Flax say they not NK.
Well, apparently there's a T-Flats hood vlog that I haven't checked out on another platform where I'm being told if you watch these 3 or 4 guys, you can tell that they're a different generation.
I seen a clip somewhere suggesting that Menace may be trying to be on the front line of some conversations with them on this subject matter that's on some mature shit. I didn't really look at the video, but the title, it was an expression that Menace was speaking on the situation from his experience and his actual relationship with some of them cats.
Okay, and I got some messages from people. Most of the time I ignore it, but I got a message from a guy that I considered a friend named Isaac Pedroza. He's a guy that grew up in the SGV out of Lomas. He's a former now, and he's one that has turned his life to God. He's very active in the church. He got married, has kids. He's a family man. But he sent me a message saying that basically it goes both ways, meaning that there are blacks that are anti-Mexican and there are Mexicans that are anti-black. And I was thinking maybe we should get him on the phone, let him tap in and express express from his perspective. So if we can get Isaac Pedroza on the line, we could have this conversation. And I didn't want to read his email because I'm not sure if this was something he wanted to just keep private between you and me. I didn't get permission from him to read it, but we'll just get him.
Did you ask permission to call him?
I did.
Oh, okay. I thought you was finna, I was like, whoa, okay.
No, I don't be blindsiding people.
Okay.
I definitely let him know we will call, and he agreed. So hopefully he answered the phone.
Hello.
Isaac Pedroza.
Yes, sir.
Alex Alonso here, and I got Spider Loc sitting next to me with Munchie B, and we're on an episode of Straight Politicking, and we just talked about the whole Tortilla Flats thing. I mentioned the email you sent me. I didn't read the email because I wasn't sure if this was something that you wanted to keep private between you and me, so I decided let's just call you directly to get your whole perspective on this black-brown, quote-unquote conflict that we have been talking about for the last couple episodes.
Okay. Let's do it.
Well, I want to start off by you responded. You sent me an email basically with a photo of a black gang in Compton that wrote wetbacks, and
yeah,
I think you're trying to. The point is, it goes both ways, is what you're saying, right?
Yeah. The whole point is that this has existed for a long time, and I had a J number, J87430. So I was in and out of the system, county jail at 16, went to prison at 17, level 4s, all that. And so I have experience. I've witnessed all of this as well as Spider and Munchie. But the point I'm making is that we all know that certain individuals, they just have that whatever it is, that hate, that whatever it is, that racial hate. But this also is a it's a gang, it's a neighborhood thing. And the more people kind of inflate it and bring it to the awareness of the people, it just makes it more, uh how do you say it, like I said, it brings more awareness, and it kind of is like throwing fire it's like throwing gas in the fire, pretty much. So I've been in riots behind this racist, what I mean, hearing the word wetback, and we know, like I said, it goes both ways. And I know that the homies, they tend to go hard, but where we are currently right now, I think there's been a lot of progress, and this is a isolated thing that should stay like that. And I believe Munchie mentioned it in the last episode. I think that it's really a neighborhood thing. You expect that. You expect that.
He did say it was gangbanging, but he did acknowledge that Compton Vadio Compton Vadio Tortilla Flats was NK. Am I correct about that, Munchie?
Well,
Yeah, I know that to be fact. You know what I'm saying? They going in and out the system, juvenile hall, you know what I'm saying? And I spent a lot of time in Compton. Yeah.
yeah, we know that we know the past. We already know that, right? But I personally, I haven't heard of no NK stuff recently, and but the point is that it's bringing. I want to give you guys an example. Like, I seen this dude, uh he's from Hoover. I won't say his name. You guys probably know who he is.
You talking about Damian Porter?
Yeah. So that guy, shout out to him. He's standing up for his people, and I understand that. But if you go look at his response, it's almost as if he's inciting his people, to pretty much go to war. And so we already, and when I say we, I say collectively, blacks, Mexicans, we already did all that.
Okay, but
you know what I'm saying?
Let's talk about the war. Over the last 20 years, who has been victimized more so in this hate conflict?
Oh, well,
I sent you an email where I gave you specific cases.
That.
Okay,
nah, I'm not in dispute of that. I'm pretty well aware of that.
And I just want the listeners to know that I sent you an email where we talked about documented cases, avenues, Canoga Park, Alabama, 204th Street, Hawaiian Gardens, Boyle Heights. I guess that's just gangbanging when you throw gas on someone's front door because they're black and you don't want them to live there anymore. We're just going to reduce that to gangbanging. They went to prison in like 2012.
No, like I said, bro, we that's already we already know. Well, I responded to that email and I said, so are we just gonna ignore the other issue, like for example that picture? Or are we gonna just go, oh, look at how bad these Mexicans are, look at how, you know what I mean? Like,
you talking about the wetbacks graffiti picture?
Yeah, like stuff like that. Another thing is, we don't even know if these things are legit. Like supposedly there was a threat or something like that. Like, you don't know where that's coming from. You got to consider that too. And just like the writing, we know pretty much that it probably was one of them, but there's a chance that it wasn't. But my point is that because of the peace and all that, even with the blacks, with the Pyrus, everybody, there's gonna be people that are trying to disrupt that.
Okay, so how do we move forward? How do we move forward from this? Because it doesn't seem like anybody from La Raza is going to agree that.
Well, that's because it's hard to go. Here's the thing: when you got a neighborhood, you can't. It's not the same as, like, say what happened with the Florence and Spider's neighborhood. That you had specific people coming together and coming to an agreement. Unless you have someone like that in that neighborhood, it's kind of hard. And honestly, after all this, like, throughout the years, me personally, I'm starting to feel like like the Lord is calling me, bro, to get involved in working with, just doing the work. We need more homies getting involved, doing that kind of work, and a lot of people, of course, they're not going to want to get involved.
But your position is that it's pretty much both sides. Our hands are dirty. That it's equal hate on both sides. And
I never said it's equal hate. I did say, well, I would say yes. The as far as the hate, as far as what has transpired, no, it hasn't been equal.
How many blacks have been indicted for hating on Mexicans in the last 20 years?
I don't know. You're the expert.
Well,
you bring out the numbers.
you want to talk about it? Let's talk about it. How many black gang members have been indicted for doing something?
I never said anybody was indicted for that, but they don't have to be indicted. You're going to tell me that nobody's ever did that with that intention?
Well,
just because maybe they weren't caught.
Okay, but in 20 years, we got the federal government, the most powerful government on earth, has already indicted like 10 Mexican gangs for hate crimes.
I know that, bro. You keep bringing that up.
Okay,
but my point is that we already know that. I'm not defending that position that, oh no, it's all even, and I'm not speaking for that. What I'm speaking is, as of now, where do we go now? And when we have things like the things that you post, that I believe does more harm than good. That was just my point. And I don't see you as someone like that.
Right,
I sat down and had lunch with you. I consider you not a close friend, but a friend. But that's why I responded like that. Like, hold up.
All right, I want to let Spider jump in real quick and say what he had to say.
Hello, how you doing, Isaac?
What's up, brother? What's up, Spider?
I consider us peers. I too have a J number, J71956. So
yes, sir.
I feel like we from the same era.
Yep.
One thing I would like to say in general, when you spoke to the fact that we addressed the mural being defamed and all that is bringing probably the wrong light to the situation. When Nipsey Hussle's mural gets defamed, we discussed that as well, and we discussed whatever politics or parallel issues come connected with that. Not just to highlight that the fact that Red Rags did it, we do it because it's just something that happened in our culture. So us speaking on the Kendrick mural being defaced, we have no racial intention initially. Had a white boy did it, a Crip, another blood, we would have still reacted to the mural being defaced. Just so happened it has the ramifications that it does. So it's not like we're trying to throw the flame on the fire. These are headlines that are very popular in our culture, and we react to the majority of those. And this just happens to be one of those. It's not us attempting. And what we were trying to wonder is, I can just recall a comparison when there were Hispanic vendors being violated by members of our community. People from your community had no problem speaking up and kind of like questioning us for a response. And we were just kind of wondering why we didn't hear a similar sentiment coming from, when we had the pop out, Icon went viral for feeling unincluded. So if the whole spirit of everything is embraced, we just thought that someone in the public eye would speak against it a little more.
Yeah, no, I understand that. And the Icon thing, that was a personal thing. That was a personal thing. And I know you, I wasn't really speaking about you guys talking about the mural thing. I was talking about more specifically Alex and what he was saying in his post. I know you guys, it's already out there, right? The video went viral. Everybody's speaking on it. And you guys are pretty much probably more qualified than anybody to speak on it, right? Unless someone from Compton. But nah, man, I completely understand. There are certain things that I believe we can do, any of us to kind of inadvertently cause more harm than good. And so that was my point to Alex. That was my point to Alex is that, hey, we need to be more responsible with with the platforms that we have. And that's just my opinion. That doesn't mean that he has to follow that. I'm just saying I felt, since I have that connection with him, I'm gonna go ahead and respond to that.
Well, let me read that post because I put it on the community tab on the YouTube channel, and I put, is Compton Vadio Tortilla Flats gang an admitted NIGGER killer gang? ? Recently posted a video and inserted photos of NK that were taken in 2000 or 2001.
Old.
Here is a case from 2009, and I put another where a Tortilla Flats were identified as NK. Are they not an NK gang anymore? ?
My point is, why would you post that? That's my point. You're referring to something that's damn near 24, 23 years old, bro. And we already know nobody's disputing.
Okay, so are you saying that Compton Barrio Tortilla Flats is not an NK gang? They don't write it.
No,
they don't
no,
push
I'm not
it.
saying that. No, I don't know. I'm not inside the. I'm not from Compton. And I'm not speaking on their behalf. I'm just speaking in general. We're having the conversation, and what I'm saying is, when you make a post like that, you're bringing all this old stuff up. Nobody's refuting that. We all know that goes without being said. My point is that if you, especially you've been involved in some of this peace stuff, and I love that, man. So salute to that. I've been pretty vocal on the Mexican side. A lot of guys don't hear about me because I'm a believer and all that, and they might think I don't have a say in it. But man, my whole life, bro, is immersed in LA. I love LA. Born and raised, and I love my people, and I love blacks. I love the black. I've learned probably more from blacks than I have from my own people. So I understand. I understand. My point is that if you have that a platform, you have that responsibility to kind of like, you know what, maybe this isn't too wise. That's why I said you should have used a little bit more wisdom.
Okay, so
that was my point.
If I want to talk about racism in Los Angeles and how segregated communities are, I can't go talk about the residential segregation that started in the early 1900s because it's old.
No, you could do whatever you want.
I'm just saying,
what I'm saying is, if you're involved in the peace, if you're involved in this peace stuff, you should use a little bit more wisdom and not post some 23, 24-year-old stuff. This is that this is different, bro. You could talk about something, yeah, that's different. This is something that could potentially it can unfold in ways that we all probably wouldn't want to, right?
But I don't know that it's different. I just asked you if they're still NK or not, and you said you don't know.
I think that it's different, bro. I believe deep down that this is different. And my point is that, hold up, what is this an agenda? No, for real. I gotta think. Hold up, what's up with Alex, man? Is this an agenda or what? Because you've been accused of a lot of stuff, bro, and I've defended you myself.
Well, what about the 2018 indictments in Long Beach with the Longos as being a hate?
Bro, nobody's.
I mean, what's the cutoff date to where we can say? First of all, when I look at history, I look at the context. When I look at Latinos and Mexicans in LA, I go back to the country of Mexico, which is a well-documented history of racism in Mexico. So I have to understand that there's some generational things that happen with Mexicans.
We can go deep. I could bring up stuff too. My point is that you being in that place, that having that platform, you should have just used a little more wisdom than posting something that's gonna probably potentially, it's gonna inflame it. I believe that's my opinion. That doesn't necessarily mean it's gonna happen. And I'm just saying, I'm looking at things, from my vantage point, and I'm looking and I'm like, hold up, why would Alex do this? That's my point. I know you're gonna defend yourself.
I'm gonna say I did it because I believe that there is some racial problems in Compton and Long Beach, two border cities. I do believe that there are about 3 or 4 Mexican gangs that are still pushing NK. If you need a 2024 photo of it, I'll make sure.
Do you want there to be peace between those neighborhoods?
Of course I do, but I know that's a very complicated thing to achieve.
Do you think that's going to help?
I think that not having the dialogue is not going to help.
Yeah, exactly. But you think like a post like that is going to help?
Absolutely.
Okay, well, that's your.
I believe you got to. I don't think we should sugarcoat it, and I don't think we should sweep it under the rug.
No, I don't believe we should sugarcoat it either. But we should be responsible, and we should use some wisdom on what we do. That's what I believe. You know what I'm saying? So. Either way, I mean, I know we have our own ways of seeing things. I'm just speaking. I don't know. Maybe there's. I know you grew up in the neighborhood, right? But you weren't a neighborhood boy as far as like being from the hood, right? And so maybe me being from a neighborhood or coming from that, I kind of see it I kind of see it maybe a little bit differently. Maybe Spider and Munchie can can speak on that. I don't know. I don't know if this is just me, but I don't know if I'm just tripping or, I don't think I am, but I mean, what do they think?
No. I get where you coming from. You saying that the post is basically kind of productive. A lot of shit can start from a post. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
About this NK thing, the Pearl thing, or whatever. So I get you on that, but I know it still exists. You know what I'm saying? But you saying posting that was just it's kind of productive. That's what you saying, right?
Yeah, that's pretty much it. That's
Okay,
pretty much
okay.
it. Yeah.
I can see your perspective from that point, that when Alex just read it, how it could just be like, we saying what's up with that, and that can go either way
Yeah,
when it
that
comes
was
to
pretty.
response.
Yeah.
But I do think it's a conversation that may be needed to have. It might not need to be necessarily had in the public though.
Yes. That's why. That's what I start. That's why I was like, man, I was sitting here thinking, and
I can tell
like
you
I
this,
said,
Isaac.
yeah,
I believe it's far more damaging for those young Latino brothers from Compton Vadio to post that video than it is for me to do a reaction
yeah,
post to it. But none of y'all have criticized those 2 or 3 or 4 young men for doing that in the first place. That's my whole point.
That's what I feel is lacking highly, is the accountability.
You are quick to critique me, and I'm willing to accept the critique. But how are we going to skip over where all of this conversation started from some Latino guys from Compton Vadio, Tortilla Flats, which I'm convinced they are, just based by the way they wrote it.
They wrote it perfectly.
Yeah, and
I don't dispute that, but no. I understand what you're saying. There should be. I said that myself.
You should be more. Your criticism should be towards them first, and then you can bring it towards me. I want to shout out some other people. Dubs, he's not going to criticize them for doing anything, and neither is American Cholo.
He doesn't. Well, he's on his own. That's something else.
But these are guys that have big platforms. They have big voices coming from La Raza side.
Yeah, but I don't know if you want. That's a whole nother issue. I'm not even going to speak on that. But the point is that I'm talking about that individual. But no, I do see there's a big void as far as on our side, people being at the table. But me or anybody criticizing or saying, "Oh man, the homie shouldn't have did that." It's kind of, how can I put it? Because it's a neighborhood thing and it's kind of confined to that. There's nothing. It's not gonna change nothing. Now, if it was something like they were, because nobody was hurt, right? But let's say it was something like what happened, like with the vendors, like Spider mentioned. That was, and I'm saying the roles were reversed. Now, yeah, that I think, man, people need to speak up. Just like we expect people to be held accountable, we got to do the same. And we all know, a lot of us come from that prison life and jail life, and that's pretty much how it goes down. That's how it goes down. But I'm with you guys. I do agree that there needs to be more. That's why I said, I was sitting here, I was like, man, I was, even praying. I'm a man of faith, and I feel that tug, like, man, how could I get involved somehow? Because it takes a certain type of individual, and it takes courage to do something like that. Us Mexicans, we're we roll a lot differently, and so there is a little whatever that is, but because I'm already past a lot of that stuff. I've been, I was busted for murder. For those of you guys who don't know, I was in the county jail, LA County Jail, from 2008 to 2013. And by God's grace, I'm out. I got convicted of murder, and they overturned my conviction. I walked right out. But since I already kind of went through all that, yeah, I do feel that there may be a place where at least we could get it, at least even sit at the table with some blacks, even with like Skip and stuff like that. I believe there are good homies out there that have what it takes to at least sit down and have these discussions. But like Spider said, behind closed doors, man, not out in the public, unless it's something that's progressing. I don't see nothing wrong with, hey, look what's happening here.
Yeah, we just had some behind closed doors, like you describing. Skip was there. My hood, Inglewood Threat 18th Street, IVCs.
Shout out to that, man.
Yeah.
Shout out to that. Yeah, nah, I love that, man. I know Skip too, and I salute that. What you guys probably feel when you see that happening, whether it be the red side or the blue side, I'm the type of individual. I feel the same, bro, because I'm from LA. I got, I'm not just for Mexicans. I love my black brothers. We're all raised pretty much the same. We are different people, but we here together, man. And so, and just one last point. I think there are individuals and probably some type of alphabet people that might not like some of this stuff, and there may be some stuff that we got to watch out for, and we have to be on our toes about, and so I think that's important too. We got to be aware of that.
Yeah, I think the first thing we considered when we saw that graffiti, what was those really Tortilla Flats guys, or is this some sort of COINTELPRO 2.0? But we came to the conclusion that they were from the Flats.
Whether it was the style, the way it was done, that never crossed my mind. I want to tell you this, Isaac. I appreciate the way you express yourself, because I was set to like really go in. But,
I already know.
Yeah, but once you started speaking, you made a lot of sense, brother. So I just appreciate you calling in.
I appreciate that, man. Salute to you, bro.
Likewise. I second that.
All right. Last word, Isaac, before we let you go.
Man, I just appreciate you even calling me up, bro, and giving me a little time to just express that, man. I do feel, man, strong tug where I gotta do that, bro. And I respect all you guys, bro. I watch you guys. I listen to you guys. Been following all of you for a long time. Salute to you guys, and I'm gonna continue praying for peace, man. A lot of this is spiritual.
Likewise.
A lot of this is spiritual. It all starts there, and the war is definitely right there, man, in that realm. And so I'm gonna keep doing that, and I hope you guys could join me in that, and let's keep it pushing, man.
Right on, Isaac.
Definitely. And for those who don't know, they could check out one of I believe it was your very first interview that we did back in what was that 17?
Yeah, 17. Yeah,
and,
one of the. Yep.
And you can get a lot of his history and his background there, and learn about his case. And then you could also look up his case online. There's your case is actually case law, right?
Yeah, I have a case law. I believe, I forget what it is. People versus Pedroza or something like that. When they reversed my conviction, the DA immediately tried to reverse it, sent it to the higher courts. I was already out, and they denied it, and they made a case law behind it. That double jeopardy. Once a judge overturns a murder for insufficient evidence, they can't take you back to trial. Otherwise, that would be double jeopardy with the same evidence. So yeah, that's what happened in my case. And those of you guys who want to maybe check out more too, I also got it's a little small YouTube channel, Righteous by Faith. Righteous by Faith. That's all you gotta type in, and there's a lot more stuff there. My interview with Alex as well. I got a couple interviews with him, and just different stuff like that.
And then your lawyer Alex Kessel is the one that got you that great
man.
And I've been hearing his name in the media lately.
Shout out to Alex Kessel, man.
Who's he currently defending? If you know,
I know that he's defending Young Dopey. I know. I heard him mention him. I forget who else. There's quite a few people. I don't know who else has them, but shout out to him, man. That dude. He went to battle for me, and I believe the Lord used him, man, to be my way out.
Where Dopey from?
Dopey, you guys know Young Dopey from Inglewood, from 18.
Oh yeah, that's why I said that. Yeah, he was there the other day.
Okay, yeah, man. Oh, yeah, salute to him too, man.
All right, Isaac. I want to thank you for tapping in, and you're welcome to call in, and if you're local, you're always welcome to come pull up on us one day too.
Yeah, we gotta do that one day, man. Salute to you guys once again, man.
All right, man. Take care.
All right, guys. Take care.
All right. There he goes, Isaac Pedroza, formerly known as Sticks, from out of Lomas, which is a bona fide barrio out in the SGV.
Definitely.
What do you think?
I was surprised. He kind of threw me a little bit. I kind of see where he was coming from more than I expected to.
I definitely didn't mean to incite any sort of conflict by this post. I just was trying to make a point. Look, there's some issues. I don't want to just say Compton because it's Compton and Long Beach together. You know, these two cities border each other, and there is some racial issues. It's definitely not widespread. We can sit here and give some great examples of neighborhoods where black and brown is not an issue, you know, like in Watts, over here in the West Adams. There are other areas of LA, but we're talking about where there are problems. And right now, Compton and Long Beach is kind of the face of this conflict right now.
You made 0 invalid points. However, I believe in a more healthier setting would be somebody from the opposite side to be able to dialogue with you on those points, since it's a public statement, like he just did.
Yeah, and I did throw up some early 2000s photos just because that's all I had in my archive. But I later found a 2013 photo.
I apologize for the fact that you don't have any 2024 photos.
But does it matter?
No, because I think I mean, if he's going to defend it by saying it's an old issue, then it matters. But if everybody acknowledge it still exists, then it doesn't necessarily matter.
But I don't think he's saying it's an old issue. He's saying it's an old photo. Right. Why use old photos, you know, to make this point about what's going on in 2024?
Yeah, and I didn't want to feel like we was jumping on him, but I definitely want to establish that the word wetback is in no sense equivalently used like the N-word. It just doesn't happen.
No, it doesn't. And the history of Mexican racism, not just in Mexico against its mestizo and darker complected people, the history is well documented. This is, you know, there's some people that call Mexicans the new white people. Have you heard this? And a lot of the literature that talks about racism, in some instances, they're calling Mexicans the new white folks.
Well, you know, in prison, when we do talk about the racial divide, they align with the Aryan side of things. That
only the Southerners, not the Northerners, though.
Okay, yeah, definitely. We talking about this whole time we've been talking about Southerners.
Yeah,
definitely.
So there is an exception to that, but it always perplexed me. One of the reasons why they have the gap is bridged between the Southsiders and the Aryan Brotherhood. That goes back to the '60s with a guy named Joe Morgan, a white guy that was a Mexican mafia dude. But he also had relations with the Aryans, and he's the one that kind of put the whole Mexican mafia on the business level when it came to doing transactions. And it was a good business decision to link up with the Aryans at the time for it to be, it was financially feasible. I'm not saying they did that to be more racist, but it doesn't help, right? When your brothers are Aryan white guys.
Right. Yeah. But I remember in the county jail where white boys used to be like free game in the 90s. And then I can remember, like, in a sense of protection, the Serenos, they wasn't free game no more.
What do you mean?
You do whatever you want to them.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, then that stopped. That changed.
Yeah, so I mean, it's a complicated topic, and everyone's not gonna be satisfied. You know, I have a particular position on it. I've dived so deep on this topic for the last 20 years. You can see me on Fox 11 News talking about this with Chris Blatchford 20 years ago.
But you see, you know where I got caught up hearing the email you read was a friend talking to a friend.
Yeah.
Then your friend called into your podcast and presented himself way different. So it was, had he kind of like came how that email was, it would have been more to go against, but he didn't come like that.
See, I didn't want to read the email.
I understand.
Because it was, I respect my private dialogue.
And that's probably why it was more fiery, because it was a private, friendly.
Yeah. But I don't think that it's undisputable that the history of conflict since the 90s, the 2000s, and the 2000 teens heavily weighs on the Southsiders when it comes to Los Angeles County. Now, San Diego has a different story to tell. Maybe in Santa Barbara, where Dubs is from, it's a different story to tell. But I know here in LA, Long Beach, Compton, Northeast LA, San Fernando Valley, Canoga Park, Alabama, Hawaiian Gardens, Boyle Heights, 204th Street, Big Hat. We can go on and on. How many stories do we have reversed where the black gang is the boogeyman doing something racist to a white person or a Mexican person, burning their house down, telling them to get out, or doming them because they were in the neighborhood selling weed.
I do know as a young juvenile delinquent doing riffraff, like we would avoid doing whatever we was doing to any blacks and seek out them.
Yeah. Well, I've heard stories from Craig Munson. 1967, 68, 69, they would look for a couple Mexican boys to beat up. You know?
We in the 90s, it was like our experience that I grew up, and I apologize to the universe. It wasn't like we were seeking them out, but we might take opportunity just because. And it wasn't because we hated them or didn't like them. It just was, I don't know where that's part of the culture. We felt like it was cool to see an old Paisa or older Paisa walking, and we some young fools, and we might just dolphin, bam.
Yeah, I think that's natural conflict of seeing the other coming into your neighborhood. It might be racially motivated, it might not be. How about this? Pico Union right here in LA was all Mexicans in the 50s, 60s, and 70s. But then Central Americans start to move in. Salvadorans start to move in. And I don't know if you guys know the history, but
That's not a natural blend.
no, it's not. Even though they
Look like it.
well,
It seems to us.
seems to the
No offense,
outsider
yeah.
that these are people from the same group. Salvadorans and Mexicans in the 80s, especially, the Mexicans were the oppressors to the Salvadorans.
Do they have something like a off eye they could tell? They could look at each other and tell like that?
You can tell by the dialect. A lot of the Salvadorans that were migrating here in the 1980s were more indigenous. If you notice,
Darker.
yeah.
Yeah, that's I could tell.
And you notice a lot of Mexicans in Los Angeles are fair skinned. That's the Spanish northern Mexico had all the Spaniards. And if you go to southern Mexico, Oaxaca, Chiapas, then you start to get the more indigenous ones. You notice most of the ones we're dealing with are the fairer skinned ones. And to a certain degree, like Langston Hughes talked about in his book from the 1920s, some of them could pass as white. Just like some very fair skinned, light skinned black people were passing for white at some point.
Right.
So it's very complicated. I think the Salvadoran Mexican conflict in the Pico Union is a very interesting story. The Mexicans were the oppressors when the Salvadorans moved in, you know?
Yeah, that's crazy. I never heard that who was the oppressor in that narrative before.
Yeah, that's
But I know that like Salvadorian got offended. I'm like, I ain't know some Salvadorians correct them.
It's like the Tongues and the Samoans. They don't like you to mix them up either.
oh yeah.
And the Tongues and Samoans, yeah, somebody was the oppressor. I forgot who was which.
I would just assume Samoa is the oppressor because they like the more.
It's whoever was first. Whoever's first, they're the oppressor. Whoever's new, they're getting victimized.
Okay.
So I don't know who was first between the Samoans and the Tongans.
Shout out to the Usos though, Polynesians.
I over time I could look and tell it's Samoan from a Tongue by looking because I used to be in jail. I'm like, damn, I hope this nigga is Samoan, bro. You know, he's tugging Crips at Ewood. I'm like, I ain't trying to fight this big ass. I'm like, okay.
And let me not just speak about all these other groups. Where I was born, it was predominantly Puerto Ricans, right? Then at some point, these new dudes started moving in, and we was like, who are they? They were Dominicans. And I noticed the Puerto Ricans that were a little bit older than me, they started to oppress the Dominicans.
Yeah.
And then I started growing up thinking I'm supposed to dislike them. You know, it's so backwards, you know. We're talking about the young mindset.
Right.
And I feel bad to even say that, but I'm talking about Puerto Rican people too. They were oppressing the Dominicans when they started to move in the Bronx in the 1970s because all of the Bronx was Puerto Rican. So they were the minority. Okay. So, hey, it happens in so many communities. I'm sure that we just barely touching the surface of different cities, different locations where it happens at. But hey, man, I'm all for black brown unity in LA. We're definitely not there. I don't know if we're getting closer. I want to feel we're getting closer. And let's just work on it. We got, like Isaac said, we got to pray on it. We got to pray on Compton and we got to pray on Long Beach. And if we can pray on Compton and Long Beach and see some progress, then that would be amazing.
That's right.
All right, man. Let's move on to something else real quick. I wanted to talk about Diddy. Oh no! Before we talk about Diddy, let's just clear up Mylik Birdsong. Bro's been getting a lot of coverage in the media since we brought this up last week. This is the young boxer that got shot and killed on 87th and Dinker.
Yes.
And no one has been arrested, but we already hearing all the rumors about who could have been the possible shooters. And we're not saying Mylik was a gang member,
Not at all.
but it might have been. It might be some gang members that were involved in the shooting. We don't know.
I don't know, but I had somebody reach out to me, and they seemed like that I might have insinuated that he had gang ties when we spoke on it last, because I mentioned that he also had spent some time coming up in the jungles, and I was just stating that for a geographical purpose, not trying to attach him to any type of gang, anything. I just want to clarify that. Rest in peace.
Yeah, you didn't say anything of the sort.
Nah, so I don't know where that misconception came from, but apparently someone had came under that misconception.
Yeah, it's weird how you could listen to something and then just interpret it completely off. It had nothing to do with what was actually said.
Yeah, I had to go back and listen to myself to make sure. I'm like,
Yeah.
no, I didn't.
And rest in peace to him for real.
Yeah,
Yeah, bro was,
15-1. 15-1.
and he was,
he had action.
and he was only 31.
He had action.
Yeah, and he was known as King Mylik.
And he definitely had no implication, ties, connections to any of the gang activity in the area where he lost his life whatsoever, for sure.
I'm gonna just go out on a limb and just say he was a unfortunate target
Wrong
by
place,
whoever was rolling up. And
It happens.
yeah, he probably was standing outside the way the article we read last week. He was standing outside talking to somebody, a female in a car, and it just so happens at the same time somebody pulled over. And hey, I hate double parking on streets. I hate even sitting in my car for more than enough time. Sometimes when I got to pick Steph up, I'm outside waiting. I'm like, Steph, I'm outside waiting. Please hurry up. I have a anxiety of just being in a car or being double parked, because I think at any time a car can pull up, mistake my car for that car, and light it up.
Easy money they can. Easy money.
And sometimes we get a little too relaxed.
Complacency can be a worst enemy, boy.
Yeah, when I'm driving around and I see someone I know and they like, hey, pull over, I pull over, I jump out, I look at my timer. All right, I'm going to give this guy about 45 seconds. I'm going to shake his hand, chop it up for about 45 seconds, and I'm out of here. Because I think that any corner at any time can get lit up. And I just don't want to be in the line of fire.
Wise man.
Hey, man, that's that straight intellect. You got to, you know what I'm saying?
And I think that probably just what happened to Mylik. He got in the line of fire or something.
Definitely. Sometimes we look at people, he had a professional career, promising, and you tend to think, oh, what are you doing over there? But a lot of times people still have connections to areas where they family at and they feel comfortable there. They always been comfortable there.
I think his mom had a house right there, right?
She definitely did.
Yeah.
She definitely did.
Man, it's a war right now. You know what I'm saying? So, in the wrong area during that time when it's up, it get like that.
He probably also assumed the fact that he wasn't affiliated, that he was comfortable. He probably knew it was hot over there, but I ain't got nothing to do with it, not even calculating that mistaken identity type thing.
Hey, when I do my interviews, I always think something could happen because I do them outside.
I know.
Yeah. But I do have certain rules. Like I make sure I go early. I like doing my interviews like between 11 and 2 because I think that's the more quieter time, even though, it can happen at any time. But with the 4-hour window of most homicides in LA happen?
5 to 9.
Nah, 10 p.m. to 2 a.m.
Damn.
That's the window is most dangerous. But it can go up any hour.
Of course.
But that 10, if you out 10 p.m. to 2 a.m., just be extra careful because that is the most dangerous window in LA, 10 to 2.
While everybody going back and forth in and out the clubs.
Yeah.
It's the party hours.
All right, man. Hey, Diddy?
Yes, he did.
Did
he do it or did he not?
There's a couple of updates on Diddy. This story out of Yahoo News was interesting. It's quoting a very famous New York police officer, the hip hop cop named I don't know if you guys are up on him, named Derek Parker. But this Yahoo News article says Diddy will rat on his famous friends. Let me read a couple lines of it. Sean Diddy Combs is sitting in a jail cell in Brooklyn, but he's not the only person who should be jailed. Plenty of people helped orchestrate his infamous white parties. I actually been to one white party in my life.
A Diddy one?
Yeah.
Oh,
I went to, but I was there during the daytime hours. So
confessions.
You funny. I was in the daytime.
and I was there with a media pass.
Okay.
Yeah.
Hey, no judgment zone.
But look, what's crazy. Well, let me just say this. There's this weirdo on the internet talking about I've been to 5 or 6 Diddy parties.
Like a flex.
If you've been to 5 or 6 Diddy parties, boy, then you was involved.
Hey, bro, if you talking about the same person I'm talking about, he's the only one trying to place himself at a Diddy party. Everybody else trying to take themselves away from me.
Wow.
Or they say I didn't stay that late. I left.
Yeah.
Right, that's what everybody say.
This dude right here, he want to place himself with Carl Winslow.
Oh, that
He's been to 5 or 6 Diddy parties.
I believe.
Nah, I don't think he's been to any Diddy party.
Well, you heard he needs diapers.
All right, let me finish reading this. Sean Diddy Combs is sitting in a jail cell, but he's not the only person that should be jailed. Plenty of people helped orchestrate his infamous white parties, intimidated male and female victims, helped Combs drug them and violate the victims while they were incapacitated. And Combs knows the feds want the dirt on everybody, especially the big names. Derek Parker, this is the NYPD, also known as the hip-hop cop who investigated the rap and hip-hop scene for NYPD in the 1990s, told me during this, I'm reading this article on Yahoo, told me during an interview on The Scoop, I don't see Combs getting out. I think with so much of the outcry of the victims in this case, he may either make a deal where he becomes king for a day, where he tells everything that he knows about someone else that might be bigger than what he's doing for a deal. So, bigger. Who's bigger?
That's where I get lost.
Well, look, I've been to one Diddy party as media. I can tell you who I remember seeing there. Ashton Kutcher was all over the place. He's pretty big, right?
Hell yeah.
Yeah, Ashton Kutcher.
That's Punk, right?
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
But he became an actor, and then he married who'd he marry? Well, he hooked up with Demi Moore, which was Bruce Willis's wife, which was a weird relationship because Demi Moore was like 20 years older than him. But then he ended up hooking up with Mila Kunis, the actress Mila Kunis.
I may know the face, but I don't know.
Oh yeah, you definitely know her face. I mean, he's been at these parties, and I'm sure he stayed late. You know. Who else do I remember? I remember I met Tommy Davidson.
Like what year?
I went to 2009. It was a 2009.
I think that's when it was just heating up.
Probably. Actually, I got a little bit of footage of Nipsey Hussle's wife. What was her name? She was pregnant for Lil Wayne at the time. Lauren London.
Yeah.
That content I put on my channel back in 2009, a lot of people tapped in with it. You can see her belly. She was there. Who else? I mean, everybody knows who was there. You know,
in that spot.
You know. Oh, Chris Brown pulled up.
Wow.
See, breezy.
I seen Chris Brown online getting bullied in the dancing on Diddy bed.
I think that was a skit.
You think so?
Oh, wait. No.
Hold on. You said you seen what?
You know that big ass 50-foot bed in the backyard?
Uh-huh.
So Diddy standing on it trying to coax Chris Brown to come on it. He's being like he don't want to.
Oh yeah, that's something else.
And he finally get him on there. And then, like, you know, hugging on him like, chummy. But Chris Brown is being, like, kind of like standoffish. But Diddy, like, not going for it. Like, they made him dance on the bed. And as you know, Chris Brown started getting loose. Start hitting his little moves. But he wasn't trying to go for it at first, though.
Hey, man, Chris Brown will beat Diddy ass.
Yeah, I know we don't pause, but he might like that.
Man, that boy be on the stage for hours dancing and
right.
shit. That man,
right.
I really think these R&B dudes is tougher than the rap ones. I put 3 R&B singers up against 3 rappers squabbling.
You might got a point.
Nah, for real. I'll take Trey Songz, Chris Brown, and give me one. Just throw another R&B nigga in there. Hey, whoop these rappers out, bro.
My man from Watts.
Tyrese.
Tyrese.
Yeah, Tyrese, now he got some built-up rage. He ready to fuck.
I think he could kill somebody.
Yeah, nigga snapping online every other week on deep shit too.
Yeah, don't get him crying on these lives as if he's soft or something.
Nah,
he's just an emotional guy. I think he'll put paws on somebody, and might overdo it too.
Yeah, he might got it in him.
But I do agree that there's no way that Diddy was able to manage all of the movements, the parties, the intoxication, all the stuff by himself.
People keep bringing it up like that matters. It didn't matter for R. Kelly. It didn't matter for Jeffrey. That doesn't matter when they go for the guy at the top like this, bro. Obviously.
Well,
there's no tree under the Epstein. They got flight logs. The story is they were trafficking young girls in and out for years. And only one dude is dead and one girl went to jail. R. Kelly. Who went to jail with R. Kelly?
Nobody. Huh.
Like that's the way these cookies crumble.
Yeah. But I think Diddy's accusations are more elaborate than R. Kelly.
They're more Epstein's, they include celebrities. R. Kelly seemed more like him was the only.
Well, the girl went to jail with Epstein.
She did. That's it, though.
Yeah.
She went to jail after him, didn't she?
Giselle. I think her name was Giselle.
She's doing a 20-piece, I think.
Yeah. So.
But maybe they had to give it to her because he out of here.
Yeah. Well, I don't know. This is 2024. The feds are greedy. I think they're going after more people, but we'll see.
Even it's like they're trying to let everybody get away just to get Young Thug too.
Yeah. Well, hopefully Young Thug will beat this ridiculous case.
It's a fiasco.
Yeah,
it's looking good for him.
All right. Also, the judge in the Diddy case is before we talk about the judge, right after we recorded the episode and before it dropped, the lawyer, didn't Diddy fire the lawyer? And you guys were both saying that you guys didn't like the lawyer.
Right.
And I think literally either that same night or the next morning.
I remember that.
The lawyer gets fired, but you guys actually called it before it happened.
Yep. And he might have done some damage that he cannot even help already. He can't even, I think Diddy cooked, bro. It's just too much piled on. He could beat one of them. He could beat two of them. He could disprove 3. He could disprove 10. When you have upwards of hundreds of accusers and so many moving parts, I just think he's in trouble. I doubt New York is going to be as tacky as Atlanta and mismanaging.
Well, this is the feds. What's going on in Atlanta is Georgia. That ain't the feds.
So if the federal takes precedent, why did it matter that they chose New York versus Miami? Because they keep saying they chose New York purposely.
Oh, the New York federal prosecutors are the most seasoned prosecutors.
But that's the point I was making.
Yeah.
I don't think they're going to do like what's going on out there as far as mishandling this shit. But he's saying it's even federal New York.
Yeah,
it's even deeper.
Hey, the New York attorneys are probably the most crafty prosecutors on earth.
Just think that RICO shit was made for basically New York crime back then, wasn't it?
It was designed for the Italian Mafia.
In New York, right?
In New York.
Yeah, so it makes sense.
1970, they came out with the RICO.
They know what they're doing out there with that.
And it's crazy now. An LA gang can get RICO'd now.
Yeah.
A bunch of guys on a corner that are living in impoverished conditions can get RICO'd.
Yeah.
But
I'm so glad my affiliation is so far in the past.
Yeah. The more further in the past it is, the better it is.
Yes, sir, definitely.
But there's a new judge on the Diddy case, and let me read a piece here from News Nation. After 2 judges denied Diddy's bail, the rapper may have a third opportunity to argue to be freed as he deals with a long list of sex trafficking, racketeering, and other charges. A new judge, U.S. District Court Judge Arun Subramanian, is now in charge of the case against Combs. Court documents show that he was assigned to the case this week. While his legal team hasn't commented, the assignment of the new judge potentially opens the door for a third bail hearing. For the moment, Combs' lawyer have not asked for such a hearing. But we already know that's the first, the best success to a defense is getting out. It's so much easier to fight your case when you're free. And the government knows this. They want to keep him in there as long as they can, but you got to grant the guy bail at some point. The bail's going to be ridiculous. Remember when they finally said, all right, Suge, we're going to give you bail, $25 million.
But when you saying they're denying it in the interest of the safety of potential witnesses, are you sure they have to?
Yeah. I mean, if they can, the defense attorneys are going to say which witness is being threatened, where's the evidence.
Well, they've already documented that he's reached out to certain people. That's what they're utilizing in order to hold him. Like, you've already attempted to contact so-and-so and so-and-so and so-and-so.
Well, I don't think that Diddy is trying to hurt anybody at this point from a jail cell in Brooklyn. If they got the audio recordings, release them. If he's on the phone banging on people, threatening people, they would release those recordings.
Since he got raided, up until the time he got arrested, they have him documented trying to do patchwork.
Maybe so. I wouldn't doubt that. You know, you got to get all your ducks in order, especially if you know you're getting charged.
But they're saying he's contacting some of these claimants is the issue.
Well, we'll see. We'll see. That this third bail hearing is going to be very interesting.
I think sometimes niggas think they're a little too slick.
Nah, people, they get rich and feel like they above approach. You know what I'm saying? Money don't make everything go away.
There you go.
But run that back. You said what year did RICOs come out? You said 19...
Yeah, what year you say?
1970.
That's recent, and I would have thought way before that.
Okay. Hey, so back in like they had Whitey Enterprise, Ozone, all these get money clicks and shit. They wasn't worried about no RICOs. That's crazy. And what other ones was it? Alex, you got Whitey Enterprise, Ozone,
Third World, and Ozone. Those are the three big ones. And then LaRue was another guy in the 80s.
So I'm like, damn, why they wasn't worried? They wasn't worried about no RICOs.
RICOs didn't come to L.A. until the 90s. All those groups are 80s.
Okay, you said 70. That's why I was
in New York.
Yeah, it was in New York.
Time to get around.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and then there was a guy in Pasadena that was big time here, Elder Rating Brown. You ever heard of him?
I heard that name before.
Yeah, he was big time. But all those guys got taken down locally. They all end up.
But they didn't ever try to hit like Rick Ross or Melvin Butler, them type of cats with the RICO.
Nah, Rick Ross got charged,
but
under the federal.
Just direct.
Yeah, that was 94, 95. And you know he went to jail because he drew Chico Brown from Corner Pocket. That's how he ended.
What you mean drawing?
Well, at that time, Ross didn't have the money. And the dude offered him a deal that was so good on some birds. So he was like, yo, Chico, this guy wants to sell me these birds. So Chico gave him $1 million to buy all these birds. They drove down to San Diego somewhere, and it was a sting. Damn. The whole thing was a sting. You know, they drew him back into the dope game after he stopped.
Oh, that was the second time they got out.
That was the second time. Yeah, that was the second time. Okay. And at that time, he didn't have the money, and Chico had the money. And Chico ended up doing 8 years on that. Yeah, I think 8 or 9 years on that.
Shout out Freeway Ricky Ross.
But him and Chico, they're good friends to this day.
That's deep.
But yeah, the RICOs hit L.A. in the 90s. I want to say they RICO'd 18th Street in like 97. Who else did they RICO? They RICO'd a few hoods. They did the BPSs twice, but I'm not sure if those were RICOs. But they federally indicted the Black P-Stones in the Jungles twice. Operation Stone Cold and then Operation Red Rain. 5-year difference, which is crazy. If you do a federal arrest on 1 year, how come 5 years later you're doing the same thing? It was supposed to annihilate the hood. They did the Avenues. They did them twice. They did the Florences. They did the Florences in like 07, where they arrested like 100 Florences.
Man, they did the 40s in 2009, I think.
Yeah. Some of those are RICO, some of them are not. I don't know which ones are RICOs.
So what is the Doc Thone situation?
That was a RICO. That was a sole. That was a very rare RICO. He was by himself, sole defendant in the RICO case. So, but I guess you're thinking that he not gonna get no bail, huh?
I don't think
they're gonna figure out a way.
The logic you're utilizing, I think that it would already been effective.
But I think they have to lie. The prosecutors would have to lie to the judge to prevent him getting a bail. They got to say he's doing something so egregious that you cannot let him out.
Why do you assume the egregious nature of his activities would be dishonest? Why would you think that'd be a lie? Why you don't think Diddler might really be the Diddler?
Well, because let's say he's on the phone doing all these negative things. All his phone calls are monitored.
You're saying you believe that he had to have lied?
No, I think the prosecution would have to exaggerate.
So you don't think he'll make a mistake like that big?
I don't know, but they have to make him the boogeyman. They really got to make him the boogeyman.
That's pretty much what they done.
But I mean, they have to bring some tangibles, you know.
That's what the DA do.
Yeah,
exaggerate shit.
Yeah.
You go to jail for a jaywalking ticket, and they're gonna say you was chasing somebody across the street with a knife. So,
It's like with Suge Knight. Remember when he ran over Bone and Terry Carter? They didn't want to give him any bail. But eventually they had to grant him bail, so they granted him a ridiculous amount that he wasn't going to be able to afford.
Now, I understand that logic.
$25 million. That's a crazy bail.
But have Suge been accused of tampering with witnesses necessarily? And this is what they're attaching to Diddy since he got raided. They said he's been very active in trying to manipulate the people that are his accusers.
Well, the defense attorney is going to say, we need that evidence. If you're going to say he did X, Y, and Z and he's not getting bail because of X, Y, and Z, that's a hearing where the prosecution's got to present the evidence that he's doing things to where a judge will say, yeah, I agree, we're going to keep him in custody.
But that was the extent of the litigation in the first two bail hearings. So why would they have to come with more of the same?
I mean, we didn't get to really hear what's going on in the bail hearing. I don't know what's being said in the
less
bail
than
hearing.
I've heard, obviously.
Yeah.
That's what's being said, that he's being a menace basically to those that are victims.
They always say, I haven't tapped in, but they always say that. That's the go-to script.
But they are speaking a little more general. They have some specific instances that they're referencing. I'm just letting you know.
Yeah.
They
Well,
are.
I'm going to pay attention to this third bail hearing. When they have this third bail hearing, I'm going to hopefully someone's got a transcript or something so I can hear what the arguments are.
Right.
Because I know they're going to say he is a flight risk. This is their go-to every time. He's a flight risk and he's a danger to society. All right, well, prove it. Danger to society is with the stuff you're saying. He's manipulating witnesses. And then flight risk, take the passport.
They've spoken about his passport being taken. They're thinking about the practical idea of his access of people who have planes.
I think any rich person's a flight risk. You can't eliminate the flight risk nature of a rich person, right?
Yeah, and the higher profile the case, the more important it is to hold someone against something like that because his access of being a flight risk is even greater.
Yeah.
if he's smart, he'll fire up one of them PJs, them little private jets, and get up out of here.
That's what they keep saying that they're afraid he's going to do.
Yeah, that'd be the smartest thing for him to do, bro.
Yeah.
And then he'll be in Bali next to your boy, and then they can't touch him.
Yeah, or he can go to South America. I'd rather go to South America than way over there.
Don't you know he's probably dreaming about South America every day right now?
Which are the countries that don't extradite to the United States? Let me see. I believe Colombia is one of them, right?
I agree. I think so.
Hey,
I'm just really familiar with Bali because your boy over there.
okay.
Bali or whatever.
Countries that do not extradite to the United States. Here we go. Now, tell me if any of these countries sound pleasant to want to live in. All right, Colombia's on the list, but Montenegro, Indonesia, Iran. You definitely don't want to go to Iran. Botswana, that's a country in Africa. China, Ecuador is in South America. Ecuador is right on the equator, hence the name Ecuador. United Arab Emirates, Belarus, Iceland, Laos, Vietnam, China.
Twice?
China and Russia. Why is it on? Did I say it twice? So yeah. Afghanistan, Bolivia, Colombia, Morocco, Cuba, Central African Republic, Algeria, Indonesia, and for some reason Bali is not on here. I wonder why. I think Bali's a city in one of these countries.
That's what I was thinking.
Of these countries, I wouldn't mind living in Colombia, Cuba, and Bolivia. Bolivia's in South America.
Hey, give me a ticket to any one of them places over a sale. I don't like.
That was my point. When you got to compare them to the sale, any of them I go.
Yeah, I would stay away from the. Oh, you know what? The Southeast Asia is really. I hear a lot of people enjoy Southeast Asia. Vietnam, what was it? Cambodia and Vietnam. Those are. I might mess with those two countries.
I would have to lean to your expertise and take my choice. I don't know. I ain't familiar with all the places like that, but like Munchie said, any place beat that place he in.
And you got one country here with some beautiful African women, if that's your thing, Botswana.
Dude, I'm going to Botswana, man.
Botswana?
Yeah, Botswana. You can get some beautiful dark-skinned chocolate sisters with some curvy,
You don't see more concentration of women with ass and titties like Africans. Like, there's so many of them got ass and titties.
Yeah.
Not just ass or titties, ass and titties. Man.
So there's a good chance. Do you really believe that Diddy would flee, or would he? You don't think he's the type of guy that will face his day in court?
I don't think he's smart enough to flee if he had the opportunity. I'd be good though.
If he was smart enough and was able to read the writing on the wall, he should have fled after the raids. So now, if he got out though, I think he definitely would try.
Yeah.
Because I can't imagine a lawyer really being dishonest with him and telling him, hey, man, I'm going to beat this shit. I can't believe nobody. Lawyers some cold motherfuckers. Somebody might be cold enough to tell him that lie, but I can't imagine it.
Especially that dumbass lawyer he just fired.
Yeah, he probably was telling him that.
I don't think that any good lawyer will ever tell you you're going to win this case.
Right.
You know? you don't know. You know, it all depends on the jury. But we'll see if he decides to flee. That would be a hell of a story, boy. Diddy makes bail. And you know what his bail is going to be? It's going to be like, I'm going to say if the judge does grant it, it's going to be something like $50 million.
The 50 he offered up.
Yeah. Wait, who do you, to Cassie?
No, he offered 50 for bail and got denied already.
Oh, he offered the $50 million.
He offered, yeah.
That was stupid. They set a bail.
Yeah, they
You came with more money than they probably gonna ask for.
Yeah.
So if he that bail might even be higher than 50. But there's supposed to be a schedule that you go by. I don't believe bail is based on how rich you are.
Right.
You know, but they did do Suge. That didn't make no sense. I don't think anyone in California ever got a bail like that. 25 million.
That sounds like the largest bail in history.
It might be. Someone can fact check me on that. But he was also facing two other cases. The one with Cat Williams, the photography one,
What happened with Cat?
and then
They stole it.
and then the one with the threat against the director, F. Gary Gray.
Oh, damn, he did something to him too?
Yeah, he sent him some stuff like, yeah, I know where you live, I know what school your kids go to, in text. And F. Gary Gray called the police.
He thought he was going to do it.
And they charged him with terrorist threats. So he was facing some other
They
charges.
dropped all that when they got the...
Yeah,
Okay.
all of that deal wasn't just for the one case, it was for everything.
What you think his prospects ever getting out?
He's going to get out.
Okay.
He's going to get out probably in the next, in less than 10 years. Even though he's already almost 60. Here, you want to know his release date real quick before we move on to the next thing?
Why not?
Let's see what his release date is.
It's 2030 something.
I know what was the sentence? They gave him a ridiculous 28. Yeah, they gave him 28 years. He's not going to do
28.
He's not going to do that whole 28. I'm not sure if he's on 66% or if he's on 85%.
Yeah, I don't know if it's retro.
But he's got action of I don't think he's going to get his case overturned because he took a deal. A lot of Suge Knight fans are talking about
Overturning.
yeah, he's going to beat this case. He's going to beat the case, but nah, that's not the way it works. But he's 59 years old, and his release date is October 2034. So that's exactly 10 years from now. Wow. So he will be 69, and I believe he might get some credits.
Off of that.
Yeah, let's just say a year or two. So let's say 2032. So that's 8 more. My prediction is he probably get out in 8 years.
Free Suge Knight one more time.
And if he gets out at the age of 67,
Still got some life.
yeah, but no music business entertainment stuff at that age.
I wouldn't imagine so.
Yeah, but he still has his movie to do.
But he needs to be having that emotion now. He needs to be able to micromanage that from afar because the interest by then is going to be extremely depleted, man. His peers level, everybody his age, you got to get it now. Now is the time.
All right. The last Diddy update is this has been covered by several national websites, but it says Diddy asked partygoers to get lotioned up in a new video that has surfaced by TMZ.
You got it?
No, I don't have the video.
Oh.
But a new video of a disgraced hip-hop mogul, Sean Diddy Combs, asking partygoers to get lotioned up was published as he faces charges for sex trafficking. The founder of Bad Boy Records, who has since been arrested and jailed in MDC Brooklyn, is facing increased scrutiny for his infamously wild parties, which were often attended by celebrities and powerful figures. This article does have a link to the video. I think I will drop the video right here. It's a TMZ video. Diddy's got a club inside of one of his Los Angeles homes, and he has a strange request during a shindig. It's a shindig. Oh, shingding, a party. Okay, I never seen this word spelled out.
How do you spell it?
It's Shindig. Shindig, D-I-G, Shindig.
Oh, Shindig.
All
Yeah,
right.
we usually say Shindig.
Yeah, Shindig. After he won a big award, telling the crowd to make sure they had lotion on. What's that all about, man?
I'm just gonna be ashy. For the rest of the day. I don't even want to moisturize or nothing. This you just God
Oh,
damn.
man.
You tripping,
It
bro?
really makes me believe that there was an agent in the oils other than lube, or there was something in there. Somebody suggested that there was some type of
Yeah, it's too many rumors going around.
Like some Molly water type.
yeah that type shit, and I tend to believe it.
You think so?
Yeah, because I remember when ecstasy was really popping, there was this whole craze of talking about the females like to take it up to tutor because it get to their system faster.
I put a pill in a female butt before.
Okay, so if they using this lube and she-nit to go all up in the backside and they throwing that D-nate, renate, Drenug on it, you feel me? And all of a sudden they body waking up, don't really know what happened, and they been super freaked. They getting it in through that tutor.
Hey, that might come up in the bail hearing. This third bail hearing.
And you know what else hurting him? After he got raided, he was still doing freak offs. After they came and got the 1,000 bottles and all that, they say between the time that they raided him and arrested him, he still was cracking, flying in, cock and all that.
Well, I would imagine that most freak offs are legal.
Me too, but we're learning something.
Man, listen.
It's the presence of drugs and the presence of women doing things against their will.
And I think it's the presence of a powerful enemy somewhere too.
And then I think you mentioned a couple episodes there might be underage women involved.
Since then, it's even gotten worse. There's underage boys mentioned now.
Hey, you had Jaguar Wright on.
Yeah, shout out to Jag, man. Appreciate you.
She's been talking a lot about this Diddy stuff way before, like, I don't know, a few years back.
Like 5 or 6. And that's why her name is popping so hard right now. She was on Pierce Morgan. That was big. Star went in on her the other day. I hated to see that. You didn't have to do it like that, Star, man. Oh, my mama. But anyway, yeah, Jag seems to be somewhat prophetic at this point with a lot of things that she says. She's been involved in a lot of things that make people think she ain't got it all. She crazy. And I can understand why people get that perspective. But I tend to think that's something that the creator gave her to kind of hide her into safety, because she hit a lot of stuff right on the head.
And you've been a fan of her for a minute.
Yes, I became familiar with her, I guess, right around COVID or right before. Just saw her virality. And then at one point I was watching her and something gave me I realized that she and I was raised under the same religious umbrella. So I felt like I had a bond with her. And based on that, somehow we linked up online, and we've been politicking together for the last few years while she go through all the things she go through. And this is my first time getting to actually meet her in person. Was a week or two ago when she came through and blessed the black box with the interview. Yeah.
Yeah, that was dope.
She originally from where?
Philly.
And was she a artist under one of these guys back in the day?
I don't know if she was under any one particular guy, but I think her tightest connection with a popular group that was popping, she was a part to some degree with the Roots. And then she was able to collab with Jay-Z on a very popular episode of Unplugged, where she was able to sing the backgrounds for that song Cry. And she kicked that motherfucking ass. So she has a long list of stories, industry-wise, of people that she dealt with. A lot of it seemed a lot unbelievable initially, but, as time has gone on, I tend to believe a lot more of what she said in the past that even seemed unbelievable.
Yeah, I saw a couple of her rants. It looked like she was a little mentally off.
Yeah, she definitely has some issues, or has had some issues with her mental.
But some of the stuff she's been saying about Diddy seems to have come to light.
Definitely.
It's crazy.
Definitely.
All right. Well, that might not have been a hard thing to predict, though, right? It seemed like a lot of people had already had knowledge.
So maybe she was just the one bold enough back then to be.
Yeah.
And then here we knew. We probably never thought it was going to be exposed like this.
Look, when I was at the White Party in 2009 doing my media thing, I had a sense that, man, it must really go down. Like once the group gets exclusive at a certain time, a certain hour, I was saying to myself, it must go down in this house.
Well, they got videos right now. Puffy's on the balcony saying, I just sent my kids out of here. The rest of y'all, you got 30 minutes, and CPS will be in here So kids, go ahead, because this party finna turn into something that you're gonna want to come to when you grown.
Hey, I could tell you though, he goes big at his parties. The platters, the food, the drinks. I don't think I ever had shrimp like as big.
Right.
Like one shrimp, like a huge,
Is that a prawn or
like a jumbo, a double jumbo. I was like, wow, I've never seen shrimp this freaking big
that
before.
was a prawn, bro.
You know?
I don't think that was a shrimp.
What you mean?
The prawn. A prawns is the large.
Oh, the large.
Yeah.
Okay. Same family though.
Yeah, of course. Yeah,
Yeah, and they were delicious.
But you notice I heard in relation to the industry in general, not associated with Diddy for years, that I thought was some Illuminati bullshit, that they get you in the room, get you loaded, get you on camera doing some stuff you don't want to do. Then they say, hey, you finna sign this deal. And then you say, man, I ain't finna sign that deal. They say, oh, you ain't? Then they show you the shit on the camera, what you did, and it locks you in. I've been hearing that conspiracy shit for years. And this is the first time I'm seeing something in reality that seemed like they wasn't bullshit. They really get down like that.
I think Nori talked about this years ago in an interview, but didn't go in detail. He's vague. He said, there's a door that way, there's a door this way, and then there's a door that way. You already know you got to pick which door you want to go in, you know?
Man, if I forgot a viral clip of one of his episodes in the barbershop, I don't know the guest name, but man, Fafa affiliated him with G Unit. And this dude was talking about being approached real crazy versus success versus no success. And yeah, that clip is, we might want to insert it in. I'm going to send it to you when we talk about it right here, just so it won't seem like I'm saying something far-fetched.
No, there might be some truth to it. I remember Nori saying that he got approached after he had these hits. I think he got the hits with the reggaeton hits. And he said he decided to go to the door that wasn't the one they wanted him to. And he said, I haven't had a hit since. But I don't know. All right, I want to move on to I thought this was a dope LA story, man. The Dodgers used Kendrick Lamar's Not Like Us as an anthem for the postseason.
That's so hard.
And that is deep.
That's so hard.
A professional team has now used your song as their theme song?
I've had visions of the Dodgers using Beautiful World. That's crazy. I swear to God.
Yeah.
Yeah, they the boys in blue. That would have made sense.
Let me read a couple of sentences off of this article here. The LA Dodgers are using Kendrick Lamar's Not Like Us as an anthem for their 2024 postseason. The organization featured the song in a hype video with Anthony Anderson as they titled They Not Like Us, Los Angeles Dodgers 2024 postseason. When the video made its way to X, formerly Twitter, hip-hop fans had plenty to say about the move. And the Dodgers are in the postseason right now playing the San Diego Padres. It's 1-1. And hopefully, I'm not a Dodgers fan, but I want to see them go as far as they can in the postseason.
I'm everything LA, so yeah, I'm a Dodgers fan as much as I am a fan of sports. But what I like the most about the impact Kendrick made, football, basketball, they hip-hop. Baseball, not so much. So for the Dodgers to grab that, that's just a big impact, bro. Salute to Kendrick K-Dot for that one, bro.
Hey, you know, the Black Americans used to dominate Major League Baseball in the 70s. Go grab some baseball cards from the 70s and look at them. Willie McCovey.
Reggie Jackson.
But there's a lot of theories on this, but it has dropped since the 90s. And now it's all about the NFL and NBA for Black Americans. It's not a Black American pastime anymore.
My daddy loved baseball. You right.
Hey, remember y'all brung up that dude that was gambling, P. Rose?
P. Rose, yeah.
He just passed away, right?
Not that I know of.
That.
Oh yeah, check it. Like type it in right now. I believe he passed away.
Yeah, P. Rose was the first baseman for the Cincinnati Reds, and wow, you absolutely right. September 30th, 2024. Damn, I grew up watching Pete Rose.
We was just talking about him. I'm like, damn.
Yeah, because he got banned for life.
Headlines when I was young, yeah.
They banned him for life from baseball.
You know, my boys that are 18, 16, and 16, when they were coming up, I became aware of a father that the Major League Baseball had a campaign to appeal toward blacks. That's why they put the that shit up there at Compton College. You know, that diamond that they got a few of those throughout the county because they were really trying to what do you call it when you go to get kids? Recruit heavily with the blacks because they felt like the interest of blacks that fell off in the major leagues.
Yeah, it definitely dropped off. One of the theories is that in a lot of urban cities across the country in the late 80s, early 90s, because of the crack cocaine epidemic, the baseball leagues weren't as popping as they used to be. So a lot of the little league did not exist in the black hoods for like a decade. I don't know because I didn't have my kids weren't of little league age during that time period, but I was able to put my kids in little league baseball in the 2000 teens.
Okay.
But that might be part of it, and also it just seems baseball is not as sexy of a sport as basketball and football is.
Pay the most money though.
It does.
At least physical risk to your body.
It is.
My boys, they played 1 year at was that Rogers? No, at Derby. They just didn't stick with it. They didn't catch it. I didn't force them, but they played 1 year. They just didn't really like it like that.
I think it's the whole the allure of the NBA, and it was crazy. NBA only got 15 seats, 15 people on a roster.
Right.
You
But
know,
the thing about baseball is there's basically usually only 1 or 2 people playing at a time on the field. There may be 11 out there, but the action is only 1 or 2. It's a very stand around game.
You can be there all day.
yeah. And it's the only sport that I can think of where.
Ain't no clock.
Well, I wasn't gonna say that, but that was gonna come after. But the defense controls the ball in baseball.
Okay,
Right? And there is no time limit. And a lot of batters slowed the game down because they'll take these little breaks between, to walk away, come back. So they're trying to regulate that.
Right.
Well, you can't walk off for another minute and then come back for this next pitch.
Right.
It slows the game down. But man,
Well, just think you play left field, you could play a whole game without you could just stand there the whole game.
Yeah.
Just stand there.
and I used to go, I'm a big baseball card collector. So when I look at all my cards from the 70s, I'm like, damn, where'd all the brothers go? Because it was all dominated. It was black and white. And then, of course, now you got Dominicans, you got Puerto Ricans, you got
Asians.
You got the Dodgers' best player. The Dodgers' best player right now is Japanese,
That's deep. That's deep.
and he's probably the best player in all of Major League right now.
I had a feeling that the Asian community was going to be big in baseball when I used to watch the kids' World Series. It's like they was always prominent in the young World Series.
Oh, that was the Taiwanese kids in those.
Okay.
But no, Japan has a professional league.
On its own. Of kids?
No, of adults.
Oh, like the Dodgers, they own
Yeah,
it.
they got their
okay.
own league.
Okay.
That's where a lot of the Japanese guys end up coming to the major leagues. There was a guy from Seattle Mariners from Japan. What was his name? And then the Yankees had Hideki Matsui. And then I forget the guys. But yeah, it's very diverse now, but a lot of black Americans just, I guess they're just not into it. Like you said, you took them for 1 year. They didn't say, hey, take me back, huh?
Did not. Well, my one son, Monster, was so cute, man. He realized that, damn, if I don't swing, I could get, he got walked a couple times. This nigga didn't swing for the rest of the season. He like, fuck it. Why are you risk striking out when I could stand here and it worked because the kids were so young.
Yeah.
They wasn't throwing no bunch of strikes. This nigga was getting on base more and more just by getting walked.
All right, now that Munchie brought up this news that we didn't know that Pete Rose died, does he deserve, now let me give his accolades, most hits out of any player in Major League history? He's got like 4,200 hits. He was a manager and a player at the same time. How many titles does he have? I think he's won at least 1, maybe 2 rings. He's done everything that a Hall of Famer needs to do in a sport. But because he has that ban for life for gambling, he never got inducted into the Hall of Fame. Does he deserve it?
Yeah, he deserved to be in the Hall of Fame for sure. You judging him off his
Theoretically, I agree.
And the sad part about it is Major League is going to fire, because you only get 16 years of eligibility. You get voted, and then if you're on the ballot for 16 years after you retired for 5 years, and if you don't make it in them 16 years, that's it. He's been retired for more than 16 years. He's never made it. So they're going to have to come up with some retroactive way, and it's sad because now they're going to do it now that he's dead.
Are you assuming or you see that they're planning on it?
No, I don't know that they're planning it, but I've seen ways that they got people into the Hall of Fame after not being eligible after 16 years. There's some other loophole ways to get in.
His name, just in general, I think deserves it, but I don't know who else has missed it for the similar reasons that he's missing it, and would it be fair just to allow him to sneak in or not.
I would say he's the only person that's been banned for life for gambling. That's Hall of Fame worthy. You know, it's kind of messed up that.
I can see if it was steroids or something.
But even steroids. Well, Barry Bonds has been on the ballot and he never gets in.
Well, if that's going to set a precedent for Barry Bonds to get in, let Pete Rose in.
No, I don't think Barry Bonds is going to get in
because of steroids.
Because of the steroids.
That's more understandable to me because it's like, not that I agree, but I understand that you were like getting an advantage to a degree.
I don't know if. Oh, okay. Listen here. Barry Bonds is at peace with his MLB legacy. The longtime Giant slugger and the league's all-time home run leaguer no longer is eligible to be voted into the Baseball Hall of Fame after falling short of the required vote threshold for 10 consecutive years. Okay, it's 10. I thought it was 16. So it's a wrap for Barry Bonds.
Because the white boy like, look, we gonna have this nigga sit on a home run top, and we got a way to discredit it. No way. No way.
You know what's crazy?
Wait. Before you say what's crazy, what's worse, doing steroids and hitting that ball further than anybody else, or gambling in baseball?
Steroids.
You think steroids was worse? Okay.
I think steroids is a lot more going on than it looks like.
Yeah, because Mark McGwire, Sammy Sosa. What were you going to say, Munch?
I did that little travel advisory telling, you know what I'm saying, all the turners about the hats out here. You know what I mean? And then the manager at Lids, I was talking to him, and he say they know that the game bangers is the ones that purchasing all these hats. That like the people in the off, like
that make them.
Yeah, no, the people like
New Era.
Yeah, New Era. They higher ups. They know that. I'm like, damn, bro. Every hood got a hat. They know exactly who buying them. Like, cause man, a lot of us don't probably even know how baseball work. But you know what I'm saying?
I think baseball actually has the most logos that in our gang culture. We don't use football logos or basketball logos.
Aren't there more baseball teams than the other?
No, there's about 30 teams in all. Yeah, there's about 30 baseball teams. There's about 30 NFL teams.
I think it's 32.
But there's a couple college logos that used to be popping, like the North Carolinas used to be the neighborhood thing. The Tar Heels, the
Washington somebody used to wear that W too.
But it's Major League.
Georgetown used to be heavy too.
Oh yeah, Georgetown.
Yeah, I got Notre Dame tatted.
Oh, the Notre Dame. Okay. Yeah. But not too many football logos.
Right.
But baseball definitely, right? Baseball logos dominate the LA gang culture.
The Yankees, the Dodgers. Well, that's not really Dodgers. Ain't no gang hat, but we wear them though like a motherfucker.
I think it's the Southsiders love that Dodger hat though. Yeah. All right,
Green Bay. They logo belong to a gang. Then the Georgetown, they
that's it, Georgetown. Yeah.
Well, as long as the Dodgers are in the playoffs, we're going to be hearing that Kendrick Lamar song playing.
Man, it took me to get from the 91 to the Dodger Stadium an hour and a half Saturday, bro. Around 4:30 was the wrong time to be on that freeway.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, that was game one.
All right. Last thing I want to say is hip-hop's #1 mogul just turned 67 years old. Kind of tied into the Diddy.
I mentioned him earlier. I heard you. Yeah. I seen you kept ignoring it, like you wanted to wait to now.
But Russell Simmons.
Happy birthday.
67.
Damn.
Hip-hop's first mogul. And I guess you can say he's never been charged. He's never been indicted.
Accused.
But I guess he thought it was coming.
Mm-hmm. That's what it seemed the story has been. There's some accusations coming direction. There was perhaps an indictment coming, and he got east on him.
But let me read this. Since the founding of Def Jam Recordings in 1983, Russell Simmons has been an instrumental part in the advancement of hip-hop culture. Over his illustrious career, Russell has launched the careers of multi-platinum artists LL Cool J, Beastie Boys, Public Enemy, to name a few. Co-founded top-selling clothing lines like Baby Fat and Fat Farm. Created financial institutions with the Rush Card. I heard the Rush Card was a bunch of BS.
I was
but let me continue. An award-winning television show, Def Poetry Jam. Oh, that Def Poetry Jam was the joint.
Was the lick.
Yeah. It is nearly and he had a comedy show, didn't he?
That was it. Def Comedy Jam is his.
Oh, this right here says Def Poetry Jam. He had the poetry jam.
That was after or something.
Yeah, he had the poetry jam and the comedy jam. I mean, bro, it's just
he used to come out after the end and mess with Martin all the time. Yeah.
Lately, Uncle Rush has even begun taking large strides outside of the entertainment and financial industries, becoming hip hop's new age spiritual guru. Nothing here about any charges.
He had a pretty bad fallout with his daughter too.
But
I hated to see that little exchange. She went big on him.
67. He also pushed Run DMC, which was his brother. One of the guys was his brother. And
the other one died in the cold hip hop murder.
Oh, Jam Master Jay. Mm-hmm. But the other guy's still alive. DMC, yeah. Daryl McDaniels, I believe. Yeah. But yeah, that's all I got. Russell Simmons turned 67 in Bali, right? He's in Bali. Yeah.
He turned 67 in Bali and not in prison. See, because he's smart. He fired up that jet.
Notes.
What?
The boy Diddy should have took notes.
Bali is a province of Indonesia. So remember the countries I just read off that don't extradite? Indonesia. So he's in Indonesia.
Over there living cool.
Yeah, it's a pretty little remote island, I guess. Is it an island? Yeah, it's a little island owned by Indonesia. And he's living his best life over there.
And if you have to start that in your 60s, I mean, what are you missing? It's not like you have to go in your 30s or late 20s. You're in your 60s, man.
Hey, you don't even got to be in your 60s to enjoy some remote island.
Not at all.
Yeah.
Not at all. But what would you call, why would you think Diddy would not be wise enough to go after they raided his house? Is he stuck to something?
Yeah, I think it's too late for him to go now. Even if he gets bail, I mean, I guess with resources, anything's possible. Anything's possible with resources, private jets.
Definitely.
You don't need to worry about passports. You just jump on a plane. All you need is a runway and a plane. You know, and there's so many places you can find that in the United States to get up out of here. But final words. Let us know. Let the people know what's going on with y'all, Munchie.
Oh man,
you just did a new interview. Let the people know what's up with that one.
Oh yeah, I just knocked it off with Trapper Ross. You know what I'm saying? I got one I did with Runny Loc that I hurt at they little spot, and that's supposed to drop soon. And shit, you know what I'm saying? Street TV, we on shit.
Oh, you did one after Rennie came and did one for Rich at Heart. You went and did one for hers. What's the name of hers?
Ain't That About a Bitch.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So, hell yeah, that's about it though.
And Spider?
Yeah, man. The latest, like we spoke on it earlier, I think, Big Worm came through. Salute to Big Worm. Appreciate that. Keep your eyes open for that interview. Should be dropping like today, tomorrow, or something.
Okay. Give us a little bit of information about that. He's from San Diego. What y'all talking about?
San Diego. We talked about, he was one of the people that had somewhat of a defensive standpoint on the Diddy situation. Didn't kind of understand why everybody was quick to jump on the bandwagon and bring a black man down. We discussed that to a degree. We discussed some of the things Cat Williams said about him on Shannon Sharp's podcast. We went for quite some time. It was a real healthy conversation, man.
And he's tapped into the streets of L.A. He got some relationships.
Yeah, what happened, what I really appreciated was earlier in the day, I saw a clip that tried to implicate Corrupt in this Keefe D, Foxy Brown, Tupac, Vegas. So I sent it to Corrupt's phone. He didn't ever respond. And then 5-6 hours later, I happened to be sitting there with Faison about to do the podcast, and Corrupt FaceTimed me. And I was able to have fun by, I said, please answer this for me. So I let Faison answer the FaceTime. They ended up being on the phone for about an hour. I had to get my phone back. So I got a chance to watch them go down memory lane together and got to realize dude been around, because Friday was shot in the 90s. So he been around the LA scene for a long time. He know a lot of the players.
He knows everybody in that section.
Yeah.
All right, and you can check me out on the Street TV platform, same platform that Straight Politicking's on. I got a great interview coming. The Gramercy Street Hustlers History, GSH, Gramercy Street Hustler, a little clique located between Pico and Washington on Gramercy during the 1980s. Y'all about to get that whole history. And thanks for tapping in with Straight Politicking.